Thank you for joining us. This is Live with Miami's Community News, and I'm Michael Miller. Our guests today are Anna Pol and Nicolas Pol from Pol Real Estate. Congratulations on being here, and thank you very much for your time. So this is a multi-generational business now.
Yes.
So tell us, Nicolas, when did you get into the business? And the big other question is, why?
Well, I've always tried to help out the family in any way I can. I love my parents very much, and I love my family. So that's the reason why, right? Well, it extends much further than that. I've started about 10 years ago, 9 years ago. I actually turned 24 in 2 days, right? And I started when I was 15 working for Pol Realty. Now, I didn't know about the real estate market or any of that jazz, but I did get started putting up shutters because, as we know,
shutters, you mean hurricane shutters?
Hurricane shutters.
Hurricane shutters.
Hurricane shutters.
About this time of the year.
Exactly.
Right. And it's a very special circumstance because the rest of the country really doesn't have to worry about the things we Floridians have to worry about, especially down south. So I put up shutters starting when I was 15 with a couple of my friends. That's how we started. That's how I kind of piqued my interest in seeing different properties. And properties are much more than just properties. They're where families live, right? And it's one of the most important things in our life. Where we call home is not just a house, right? And then I started, I love this place. I love the studio because as, I don't know if you've read about me, but I studied at the University of Miami, go Canes. Yes. Right, go Canes. As a screenwriter. So the studio is not so strange to me. I love it here, but I need to tell more of a story because the house. I started out making videos, right, a little bit after
of the
houses.
of
the houses.
Yeah, got it.
In order to market them, right?
And you're what age, more or less?
Now we've skipped about 3 years. I'm 18. I'm about to enter the University of Miami.
Oh, but you did it since high school. Like he studied film at Cypress Bay High School in Weston. So he would do all my editing and really, really good since he was young.
So the videos, yes, they were marketing videos that we put on YouTube, but I tried to, tell a story as well. Because that's the most effective marketing strategy, to get people to feel something before they buy, And here, after graduating from the University of Miami as a double major in marketing and screenwriting, I feel that my talents greatly contribute to the company as another set of eyes, a generational difference, as you can call it. And we are more, since we have never not had technology as my generation, it became very natural for me to use social media.
Isn't that hard to imagine that they have all these things that were new to us, and to them it's like, hey, this is old school, man.
Yeah.
We've had it for our entire lives.
They don't know anything else, so it comes very easy.
So you were on you worked at the school TV station.
Yes, sir.
What did you do there? You can call me Michael, or hey, you is okay too. So what did you do at the TV station?
I was behind the anchor desk. I was saying the news of my high school and also editing. So I did both. I did a double whammy. So
here you are, you're trying out the real estate thing. Well, I'm doing videos, and you understand the difference between a house and a home. And people do want to know the story.
Correct.
And when we can tell the story, that's what makes the difference.
That's what makes
it. And there's certain seasons to every 4 years that certain things come up. I won't mention what it is, but it's the story that matters, right?
Exactly.
And so let's talk about, Mom, your story and how you got into real estate.
Well, I'm a computer engineer by trade, and when they were school age, I didn't want to be traveling so much, so I started just working like an investment for me, working in, buying and for me and renting, and I saw that it was something that was profitable, and it was something that had a very flexible schedule. So I started that 18 years ago. So I've been doing it for a while. So they've seen me, they sometimes went with me for showings and things. And when he started getting interested in film, that's when I said, okay, let's start. Even before it became so popular, Instagram and all that, I was already doing videos with him, maybe not as professional as now, but he would, come with me and do the videos. And like you said, try to tell a story.
When did you recognize that he had a talent for this?
Oh, well, since he was little, you would say he was looking yesterday, like he would create little stories, alien invasion. And
What age?
maybe 6 or 7.
So one of the great things that we're privileged to do is to talk to successful family members and people and find out when they got it, the bug, whatever it happened to be. And inevitably, if you're really lucky, it was around this size. And when you say you recognize at age 6, I'll bet years before it was brewing in his head about how am I going to externalize this type of things. So you go, okay, I want to do real estate. Now you moved from Broward County down here to Miami.
Yes.
All right. Why the move?
When he went to we decided to come down here instead of living at school. I was going to save in dorm fees and just move down here as well. I mean, we lived in Weston also because of the school. So since he graduated, we just moved down here and started working in this market, which is amazing.
So by schooling and profession, you're a computer engineer.
Yes.
What does a computer engineer do?
Well, I specialized in systems consulting. So I worked originally with what was called Anderson Consulting in my time. Now it's Accenture. So we went all over the place just installing new systems in the different industries. I worked mainly consumer goods. I worked at Perrier, Bose. I worked in Spain also.
Big companies.
Big companies.
Massive
yes.
companies.
Yes.
Huge companies.
Yes.
And you said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start my own real estate firm.
I mean, it works so you still have to problem solve. You have to multitask. You have to be very analytical. So that's the part that I bring.
How many women were in the field?
Oh my goodness.
When you were there?
I think maybe, I don't think even 10%, maybe 5% of the workforce.
Did you know that before you got in?
No.
You just said, I want to do that? And
no. I'm embarrassed to say, but I didn't know when I started college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. My boyfriend at the time was going to study that. I said, let me study that. That sounds like fun. And then I loved it. But that's really how it started, which is embarrassing. But that's how it was.
Rachel, could you turn on the ACs for a sec? Thanks. So you got into it. You really didn't research it too much, and you found out you were good at it.
Exactly.
But when you in high school, did you have an inclination towards those type of things?
When I was in high school, there were no computers. And he was born with that.
Imagine that.
He had his first iPhone when he was 10.
And the rest of us were at age 30 going, how do you work this thing?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So on back to Nicolas. So let's talk about you were helping in fostering pets.
Right.
You still do that?
No, but I currently have a dog that we've got from the same foster organization, right? Pets in Distress, it's called. And we've had the dog for over 10 years now.
So Pets in Distress, you could go and you could take care of a rescue pet for a certain period of time.
Right.
You'd foster them.
Right.
And then the organization would look for somebody to adopt the pet.
Right.
They would vet them and
Did they actually get people to adopt them, or was it just
all the time?
And you'd say, okay, here's the dog, and you take it, and they bring it on to its forever home.
Correct. We would have them. I mean, we had some for 3 days. They were just a gorgeous Pomeranian we just had for 3 days.
So what is that like? How do you get in that space where you go, we're going to take this dog in? I love this little guy. He comes over. We get to feed him. He comes over. He thanks me all the time. He's running around in circles. He gives me a big hug. And then 2 days later, okay, he's gone. So what was that like for you?
Well, he started it because he wanted to do it as a community service hours for the school. You know, you have to have a certain amount. Yeah. You have to have 40, and he had over 1,000. So he won awards and everything for so many community service hours he had. So it was his idea to start doing that.
Okay. Well, it's much more than just the service hours, right? It's the service that you provide for animals. Yes. I mean, animals are sentient beings that they have souls, and we have to take care of them as much as we can. So
you're involved in the social media aspect, the digital aspect of your mom's business.
Yes.
So it's a big responsibility, isn't it?
Huge.
Because if you work for somebody else, you can just leave.
Yeah.
Or get fired.
Yes, right? That is challenging for him, poor thing. But he's very good. He's very good.
So as teachers, which we are, all right, we realize if somebody comes to work for you, you teach them to do it. We're very tolerant. We understand it. Sometimes it's harder with their children, all right, to do that. But that's what real pros do,
Yes.
is be able to understand you've been doing it for X amount of years,
Yes.
all right? I have a family member who my wife, is now working here. And so I expected when she walked in to understand it. I said, I said, no, 40 years, 4 hours.
Oh, that wouldn't go well.
So one of the things that we recognize is that we're already trained in our head. We just have to say, this person happens to be my whatever, then we need to teach them and they need to learn on their own. But let's talk about your knowledge of social media before you came aboard. Let's talk about it and how you've been able to apply that prior knowledge to real estate.
Right. So as to speak to what you were saying earlier, you can have many bosses in life, but you only have one mother, right? So I try to not disappoint her. I try to go far beyond my expectations of my own self, so as to bring respect onto the name, because Pol Realty, the real estate company, it's the namesake. I'm Nicolas Pol, she's Anna Pol, right? It's Pol Realty, as every hour that I work is to bring respect onto the family name, not just the business. But UM is University of Miami is a great school, and they've taught me very well to edit. I'm a great editor, and editing is really another form of storytelling, right? I'm also a screenwriter, and that's to the law, telling stories, right? But editing is more artistic in a way.
Lots of people have a difficult understanding about editing and words that go up there, and how colors matter, how music matters, how the beginning and the middle and end matter, and how the ups and downs matter. We go to a movie, we say, oh, isn't it wonderful? They're crying or laughing or whatever it is. And all of a sudden, there's people that made that. And so we realize you start making the content, and that's just the beginning of it. My father was in radio and TV for a long time. I used to see him edit stuff. And then you hope it's in the right spot. In today's environment, because so many people see it, and I understand what you're saying, it's not just a business, but it's a family business. And people look at your work and make decisions about you, right? They don't make decisions about the editor. They say that video was great. And so the man behind or the woman behind the scenes matters a lot. So talk to us, if you would, about some future video or one that you're working on now or might be working on, and what are some of the things that you want to make sure that you show and explain to the potential viewers?
Right. The most successful companies that's ever been in existence sell more than just a product, right? They sell emotions, right? So what I'm trying to sell is why you need to buy a house, why you need to invest with us, and why it's so beneficial, right? So that is why I want. Go ahead.
No, just tell them about the ad that we did in YouTube. That one was really good, and we got a lot of subscribers. The one about, are you getting a divorce? Are you getting this?
So that perfectly.
You did like a little movie. It was amazing.
That speaks perfectly to what I was just saying. I with that YouTube ad that I created, we boosted our subscribers about 4K. And what I did there was I really just created emotion about different pain points in one's life, divorce, empty nester. And I just said, this is what's happening in your life, and this is what's going to make it better, right? Investing now, especially now when go ahead.
No, go ahead.
When the market interest rates are going down, this is the best time to buy, because the prices are going to go up, and you're going to.
So how do you do all that in a very short moment?
I know.
I mean, do you show mom walking the kid to school and?
Instead of the money, like we said, are you becoming an empty nester? So I'm just 1 second. I'm just saying goodbye to him, drinking champagne, and he's walking with his hat, going to school. So that, and then, are you getting a divorce? We just tear like a marriage certificate. Just seconds, just talk seconds. So it was, I don't know, 35 seconds. But it was very, very.
So one of the things
powerful.
that's happened to all of us, our attention span got really shorter. Thank you, Facebook, YouTube. Instagram and
TikTok.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Second, and the thrill we figured out is in the movement of your thumb or your finger. And I'm thinking there must be some other neuro connection there other than just there. There must be this full body engagement, the stimulation here. And also maybe we've learned when we do this, it reminds us of the good feelings we get by flipping through 50 before we decide on one that we'll be at for 3 seconds.
Exactly. You have to catch them in the first 3 seconds. If you don't have a catchy first 3 seconds, you're done.
There's a commercial on TV, Evans Roofing, roofing. 5 seconds.
Yep.
There used to be, I know again, I find it hard to believe, 1 minute commercials, 30-second commercials, then it was 15 seconds, right? And then now a 10 or 15-second commercial would be a long commercial. And one of the things they recognize, we all recognize, is you don't get necessarily more because it's a longer whatever.
Right.
As a matter of fact, the algorithms are just the opposite.
Yes.
But yet some people want to see themselves in a 5 or 10 minute thing. But what we also recognize is, well, they may want that, all right, and that's fine and dandy. But what we want them to do is get more exposure.
Right.
And then we hope that we do the right thing, right? And sharing that story well enough that people will grasp onto it. So how do you, when you mention the word pain points, how do you know about pain points? You know, you're 24, 25 years old, right? When you say pain points, how do you go study what those pain points might be? Or is it life experience? How do you come up with that?
Well, I haven't had many years, of experience. I've just entered the workforce, but I have worked with many of clients that are going through the experiences that I've listed out in that same YouTube ad, correct? It's very tough. It's very tough, and I'm a very compassionate person. So when I'm when I'm helping, my client Elizabeth, for example, getting out of her house, she tells me that I remind her of her third son, right? And she's explaining how the youngest just went off to university. Now she's alone. She has to downsize, right, with her husband. Right, and she's telling me she's showing me the pictures of how they were all together, and now they're not, right? They've grown up. So that really tugs on one's heartstrings. And as a storyteller, thank God, I can, tell that.
You must have a lot of insight when you look at it, because I can hear it and I'm watching him, and you're understanding that. And one day you will understand that as well. When my son was out of town for school, he'd fly in, and I'd pick him up at the airport. By the time I was I was happy. By the time I was out of the airport, I was unhappy because I knew he was going back.
I know.
Right? And it's like, okay.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, that's the way it is. And when you said, here's a lady who was really happy, she shows you the picture, but they're all gone.
Exactly.
It reminds me of the Safeway windshield commercials. The windshield's cracked. He'll come out. They'll even track so you know when he's there, which is like on the fear factor. Where is he? Am I going to miss him? Is it the right guy? We'll send you his picture to make sure. So that's certainly a pain point about fear. Who's this person that's going to show up? So let's getting back to the homes that you like to sell, beautiful homes. The people that want to live in them, that want to live in nice neighborhoods. How do you find them?
Ooh, well,
marketing.
Yeah, I mean, the marketing that we're doing, we just, attacking through many, we're doing this. We do a lot of Instagram. I mean, on Instagram, we do at least 5 stories a day, at least 3 posts a day, and about, giving advice on how to either sell or buy.
And certainly that's part of it, is that to do a mix and do enough of it so when somebody's out casually doing whatever and they come across your stuff, and when they come across your stuff enough, then they start thinking about it.
Right. Like today, I went to that networking event. I go every month. I send postcards to our area. I do letters. So sometimes today it's a couple. So, you're familiar. You look familiar. Well, maybe because they get my postcards. Maybe they don't, because they say maybe they just see you when they get it at the mailbox and they throw it away. But at least they saw your face.
And I think it's important for people, whether they're receivers of content or the givers of content, is to know if you're only going to do it once or twice, just don't do it.
Exactly.
Save your money. Go to dinner. All right. because you just have to be
Consistency.
consistent all the time, and it's no different when now the event where you talked about the one you were at
this morning.
So we do these events frequently, and so now I'm starting to learn people's names
Exactly.
because they're consistent, and I know who's serious, and conversely, we know who's new. And so this morning there were a lot of new people that hadn't been there.
Yeah.
One, it was interesting. They dressed differently than our usual crowd.
I
so
didn't know.
And we go, oh, you're new, you're new, you're new. And they were. Because after a while, people get a certain comfort level. So you market in a lot of different methods, including face-to-face. Ultimately, that's what it takes, all right? And
That's his area. He loves it.
And how to get the people to get and connect with you.
Yes.
So tell us about one of the houses that you have or that you're hoping to have and where that is.
Well, right now at this moment, since I've worked in Weston for 15 years before coming here, I still have a lot of clients there. So right now, we just got a contract on one that we had there that is completely remodeled, for example. And we saw that a lot in the area were just selling at a lower price point, but they weren't, they didn't have a new roof, they didn't have all these things. And everybody was just saying, oh, you should lower the price, you should lower the price. Well, no, what we did, he did many. I mean, we did, I think, one a week, different videos of the neighborhood. We tried to show them not only because, a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, you have them everywhere. You have to show them what it feels to live in that house, in that neighborhood. So we go to the clubhouse. This community has a gorgeous clubhouse.
Is he good?
Yeah, he does it. We do, sometimes I do the B-roll or I do the actual filming, but he will put it together. So it gives you the idea. We start maybe with Google Earth Studio, that it goes, boom, zooming from the United States up to where it is exactly.
That's a pretty neat, right? It's pretty neat. You start this
Love
gigantic thing, and they take you to the street. Oh my goodness, it's really for people our age. I'm you're way younger than me, but for our age to go, somebody up there can get you right to the street address.
Yes.
It's frighteningly amazing.
Yes. And showing the parks, showing the schools. I mean, you have to show everything so the people see what they're going to get if they live there.
Sometimes people misconstrue how much time it takes to create something like that. From the moment, put aside your thinking time, but from the time you say, okay, we know what we're going to do, well, let's go.
Right.
And then you go out and you create all this content, big picture content, and then you take it and you just go to put it together. How many times do you put it together and you go, I got to change it. I need to put something else in.
Oh, all the time. Almost every video, man. It's not easy. It's not easy. A lot of people think, oh, I filmed the video, it's done. Well, professionally, it's not how it's done, right?
Yeah. Those are mine. If I do them, I just...
It's sort of like if somebody went in and they painted your house, you says, you got to do the crown molding. You got to do the baseboards.
Right.
You got to do the edges. You got to do the doors.
For it to look perfect, yeah.
Right. And so that's this with videos, because people look at that stuff, right? And they may not like the content of it, but it better be clear, and your message better be really good.
Exactly.
And so my hat's off to you to do it, because I know it takes a lot of patience. A couple of years ago, when my kids got their MBA, we filmed the whole weekend, and then we'd already had from age 0 to 18. So then I did one from 18 to finish graduate school. The joke around here, this is the last change. All right? 3 months. Finally, you realize that you could keep changing it all the time.
Forever.
Right? So at some point you go, okay, this is it, Mom. We're done. Let's get this out there.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of the civic organizations and charities that you're involved with.
Well, now they're graduated, but before I was always involved in the PTAs of the school. I was PTA president for elementary to high school. So I was involved in the school advisory board as well, trying to get, more funds to their schools. So also that's the way, it's a double whammy, because I help the schools, and that's the way I got a lot of clients, because I would advertise. He used to play football in high school, so I would advertise on the banners in the football field. So I would help, give $500 to the school.
So they would know you.
Yes.
Yeah, so you were there, you made yourself available, and you made yourself open. You were, on stage in that sense, and people go, oh, I know her, right? So it wasn't, and she happens to be a real estate agent. You didn't start off as a real estate agent. You started off in helping people
Right.
and being there, so people could pay attention to you if you wanted.
Exactly.
My hat's off
Exactly.
to you. For
Actually, the one that we're selling right now, I've been away from the school for years, and I still get clients. This one that I'm selling right now is from a mom that I met at the school 12 years ago. So I just keep, I keep in touch with them. We still are friends, and I just love helping the community. I want to get into Zoo Miami because he loves animals. We lived in Weston, and we were members of the Zoo Miami. We would come every weekend.
Oh, no kidding.
He loves animals, all sorts of animals. So we want to get involved in that. In the Humane Society down here, since we can't foster, well, we can, but it's harder to foster from Broward County, so we want to get involved here in the Humane
if people
Society.
do want to foster animals in Miami-Dade County, they can call Animal Services,
Yes.
all right? In Miami-Dade County, they can foster dogs and cats and little feeders with the little guys,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And they have that open. I know that, during the pandemic, there were no pets available to speak of, or
Right.
no dogs, and now there are quite a few.
Now it's almost full, yes.
Right. So again, adopt, foster, don't buy from the store.
Correct.
Go to the Animal Services.
Yes, and they're the sweetest boys. The sweetest puppies.
So we may have touched this on last time when we spoke, but during your life, I know there have probably been a lot of people that have helped you along your way. People that have meant a lot to you, that have been supportive, and that perhaps are mentors. What I'd like you to do, if you don't mind, if you could look into the blue camera, and Michelle's going to put the camera on you in a second. There we go. Why don't you talk directly to them, whether they're with us or not?
Okay. Well, yes, I want to thank my mom, who's not with us anymore, but she was always very supportive. Also, I had a lot of mentors that worked with me, Sergio Palacios, Orlando Bracho, that started, have been clients of mine since the very beginning, which I didn't know that much, but they stayed with me. I think loyalty sometimes it's underrated, and when people are loyal to you, you definitely try to give 150%. My kids, of course, have always taught me and supported me, so I'm very, very appreciative of both of my boys.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Nicolas. So at some point you started recognizing, gee, I want to start doing these type of things, and maybe there were some people that helped you along your way. Maybe they were professors, or maybe it was your mom, or some other people. Can you think of a couple of them right now that you say, I want them to know how much it meant to me that they helped me? Right. Can you talk about it? Just look right over here, right in that camera.
Right. So I'm not alone in thanking my mother. And my mom is my hero. She's my reason that I wake up in the morning, my purpose. Every hour I work is for her to be proud of me. And I really have to thank you, because I love you, and I work every day because I want to make you proud. And of course, the professors, right? The professors at the University of Miami surely have helped me cultivate my skills and be the man I am today. So thank you. Special shout out to Professor Soliday. I went to Europe with him, abroad, and I helped direct and shoot 2 films over there, right? And that's really helped me to cultivate my storytelling abilities, right? And it helped me learn different cultures as well. I'm very international, right? I've went to Colombia, Spain, to help expand our international presence.
That's wonderful. Nicolas Pol, thank you very much. Anna Pol, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Way to go, Mom.
Thank
Good job. Again, let's look right into the camera. We're going to look right in the red camera, and you're going to sign us out.
What do I say?
You're going to say, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. Please follow us on Instagram at Pol Realty. And until next time, thank you.